What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Friday edition of the Phaithful Phanatics Show. As always, we are live here on the DSM-Media Twitter channel as well as the DSM Philadelphia YouTube channel. So, guys, do yourself a favor, do us a favor. Make sure to check us out on Twitter first. At DSM_media is where you can find us. Make sure to hit that follow button and then check out the link tree in our bio. It will take you to every social media platform we are on: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But most importantly, if you want to be involved in today's show or any of our live streams, you have to check out the DSM Philadelphia YouTube link in the link tree. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, share it, like it, whatever you got to do. We greatly appreciate it. I'm one half of your host, Dylan Davis. To my left, my faithful co-host, Scotty. And all I have to say right now, man, is let's go Sixers. Let's go Sixers. VJ Edgecombe explodes onto the scene in his NBA debut, dropping 34 in 42 minutes of action. Tyrese Maxey drops 40. Dominic Barlow provides energy from the opening jump. Joel Embiid was a shell of himself, and the Sixers pull out a 117-116 victory in Boston over the Celtics to kick off the 25 campaign 1-0. I am feeling good on this Friday afternoon. We also have some Eagles-Giants revenge talk to get into. Kelly Green's this weekend. It's going to be a fun show, man, but what is going on?
Yes, sir. Happy Friday, my man. You mentioned it. Obviously, a great start to the Sixers season. And yeah, we got some retribution to get against the New York Giants this weekend. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm happy the week's over. It's been a long week. Finally get, a little bit of a break next week, going a little bit of a getaway, and yeah, reset, kind of like the Eagles will get to do after this Sunday as well, man. They go on a bye week, so it's kind of perfect timing for everybody. But no, I am excited about the Sixers and the way they started the season. Obviously, a big win in Boston, and just kind of, showing signs of being a different team. I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself as far as expectations, but yeah, just going to take it game by game and just try to enjoy the experience,
Absolutely.
which I think is something different than what we've done the past few seasons as Sixers fans. It's been, just so hell or high water championship aspirations, and I'm not going to go as far to say as like these guys are going to be championship favorites or anything like that, but like that just doesn't matter right now. It's just more about progressing, developing some of the youth on the team, and just making sure they look the best as we get closer to the postseason. So kind of taking a different approach this season with the Sixers.
I like it.
Trying not to overload. It's not that they feel like pressure from us. It's not like that, but I just, like setting myself up for pressure in a sense. Like there's no point in it. Like the Sixers, it's a weaker East. It's an injured East, but the Sixers could be injured tomorrow for all we know.
They are injured to start the year.
They are. Yeah,
they are short-handed to start the year.
To be fair. Man, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be clear. We got another matchup tomorrow night that I'm super excited for. It's a game where not exactly the Boston Celtics, right? It's the Charlotte Hornets, and we get a chance to see maybe a different version of the Philadelphia Sixers against a lesser talented team than the Boston Celtics. It's not to diss the Hornets.
It's not to undersell LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. If you're the Sixers, you better go out there Saturday night and take care of business.
They got some young boys.
For sure. Your boy Con Knipple out there. But yes, you are right. It's not the Boston Celtics. But before we get into specific players, all the positives we saw, some of the negatives that took place on Wednesday night, man, to your point, there hasn't been a lot of balance in years past, right? Heading into last year, and basically the entire Joel Embiid era has been, playoff oriented, championship focus, Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals or bust, right? And then last year you have the season from hell, and you have no choice but to, if you are going to tune in and watch on a consistent basis, you have no choice to do anything but, look at some of the young talent and grow some of the young talent. This year's kind of a balance of that, right? You mentioned the weaker East.
Good point,
You mentioned if the Sixers can get healthy, they do still have championship aspirations, but you have a Jared McCain coming back. You see what the backcourt just did of Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe the other night. It's a balance of, okay, I am in win now mode. This team I hope this team can compete this year, but there's also some stuff to watch on a game-to-game basis heading towards the future. Now, with that said, you mentioned different. And I think that's a fun place to start because don't get me wrong, it's game 1 of 82. We're going to learn a lot about this team over the coming weeks and months of the season, right? Maybe they aren't all that different. Maybe they're totally different. But this was a very positive step in the right direction because the Sixers did something very Sixers-ish coming out of the break.
Yeah.
They had a 6-point lead, right? A 6 or 7 point lead heading into halftime. I think it was 57-51 or something like that along those lines. Heading into halftime, and they come out and get outscored 35-18 and allow Boston to go on some 16, 17 point run at some point in that third quarter. And they're down double digits. And at one point they're down 11 or 12. And then Maxey would hit 2 threes early on in the fourth quarter, and then it would balloon back up to double digits. And you're like, oh man, here we go again. But this team on this night did not stop fighting. Nick Nurse made adjustments. Now, we'll get to Joel. And I know on the broadcast they said Joel was on a minutes restriction. He only played 20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding it hard to believe that's the hard cap. I think Nick Nurse saw what was going on in this game and went away from that direction on this particular night, right?
Yeah.
I loved everything about that late fourth quarter. Kelly Oubre Jr. hits a clutch 3 in the corner to go up, 102-101. Tyrese Maxey is lights out. I know VJ missed the last 2 free throws, but prior to that, him and Grimes and Maxey and Oubre had to hit clutch free throws to keep themselves within the game or to continue their lead. And the last 2 possessions, they find ways to get stops on the defensive end against Peyton Pritchard, and they walk out of there surviving with a win. The team did not quit, Scotty. When they were down 10, when they were down 11 in previous years, that balloons way further. They walk out of there with their heads down low. They come away with a win in the season opener.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said there, man. Just because I see TR's in the comment. He changed his name on me. I see the TR to the left, but I get confused with the laugh out loud, the E7Z or whatever. I don't know if it's just showing different, but TR is commenting on the Embiid factor, and it's hard to tell, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he played, my thing is,
a minus 16 to be clear, he was horrible.
And if he played 19 in a meaningless preseason game last Friday, you're telling me his hard cap was 20 minutes in this game? I think it's a combination of both. I think there's a minutes restriction. I think he probably could have played 5-6 more minutes in this game, but with how he was looking, Nick Nurse said, okay, it's not the night to push it.
Yeah, and I think, it kind of points to guys like Barlow and Adem that you can look at and say, man, these guys came in. And, it's interesting. Once again, I know Embiid is, he's getting himself back. It's going to take us some time. I imagine it's going to take a month before we see Embiid, scoring 30, right, and playing 35-plus minutes. If they do that at all this season, man, they would be smart not to unless it's a highly, highly competitive game, right? But then you structure it so that he just shouldn't be playing 35 minutes, man, not with the depth that you have right now. And then you add a Watford at some point, right, too, who can run a little bit of small ball there. But I think having Barlow and Adem, those guys that just are simply there to do the dirty work. We talked a lot about rebounding on our last show, man, going into that game, right? The Sixers pregame. And what I noticed, even when Embiid was on the floor, it's not that he has to get up in the air and get the rebound. It's like you said, just get a body on somebody, and then the other guys come and collect. And that's the key.
Barlow tipped how many balls out to create second opportunities?
Barlow, man, I'm glad you just brought him up because I do want to hone in on him. I mentioned him and Bona. It's more Barlow because this guy came out of nowhere. I look at him, man, and I just think he doesn't play outside of himself. I think that's
he took I think he took 3 threes in the game, but one came in the fourth quarter. Okay. One came in the fourth quarter in a time they were down 4 or 5, and I was like, that's not the best shot. But you are right. Outside of one attempt.
He's got to be willing, though. He's got to hold the defense accountable. He's got to just at least be willing. But I do feel you in a close game against the Celtics. It's not ideal. But just playing within himself, 13 points, 8 rebounds. He had 5 assists in this game. And I think that's to your point. A lot of those tip-outs. Tip-outs that go to open shooters, right? And then they get easier shots. But he's exactly what you need next to Embiid, man. He just does everything that you want next to Embiid outside of maybe floor spacing. But look at where Embiid was operating in this game, man. He's operating at the 3-point line, at the free throw line. That's where he scores from. So if he's not going to be, getting into that gritty part of his game just yet, the floor spacing doesn't matter as much. But yeah, you brought Barlow back. I wanted to comment on that because that was like a big thing for me, man. I think even when PG comes back, you start Barlow, you bring Oubre off the bench, let PG play small forward. Why not? I don't, you know what I mean? It just makes sense to me. Like bring Oubre off the bench as a scoring, attacking punch that could flow with McCain. And
I agree. I agree. I think it's a better fit. I think Paul George is he's been more of a small forward his entire career. I know the game's a little bit different now, so they're stretch four is a completely different position than it used to be. But like to give Barlow one more second of praise here, you mentioned the 13 points, shot from the floor. Yeah, didn't hit a three, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Right, so there is a little bit of a form to work with there. 5 offensive rebounds out of 8 total rebounds for him, Scotty. A block and 5 assists. He was second. He was tied, or no, yeah. Him and Grimes had 5. Maxey had 6 assists. That is humongous. I want to tip my cap to one more guy that, was kind of in that Dominic Barlow preseason type of play. Jabari Walker. Yeah. Jabari Walker came in 19 minutes. Again, did not play out of himself. Took 4 shots, made 3 of them. Grabbed 4 boards. 2 of them were on the offensive side of the floor. Just grit, hustle, physicality.
The margins.
Almost took a humongous charge. His heels were just on the arc against Jaylen Brown late in the game. Like, difference. Is difference maker the right word? Like, because it's way too early to know that. What I'm trying to say is different than our previous role players. Just doing things a completely different way than the teams previously built around Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Look, I'm not, like you said, don't get too ahead of yourself, and I'm not going to get too ahead of myself either, but why can't Jabari Walker be like a better version of like PJ Tucker, for example? And like
at that point, PJ Tucker's career,
with PJ at a time, right? When he was on the Sixers, he was doing the little gritty stuff and would hit a corner 3 every once in a while. Jabari Walker can do more of the gritty stuff. He's younger. He can develop more. And he did. He hit this weird like mid-range in the game too. Yeah. It was like at the end of a shot clock, it was like forced, but he did hit it. So it was, I don't know. It was interesting seeing him shoot that, but yeah, I'm excited to see more of those guys. And one last thing, because I know we want to get to the main stars of this game, but Nick Nurse, I mean, I don't know what the situation is with Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon. Drummond got a little bit of time.
Drummond only 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Lowry, if he's injured or, getting conditioned, what the case may be, or if he's simply not playing. Which would be ideal. He's just the coach on the bench. That's fine. I like it.
And I'll take it a step further. Even a guy like Justin Edwards, who flashed at times last year, gets the actual NBA deal this year. We saw more of Barlow and Walker throughout the preseason, right? And those are the guys that are getting the early run. Yeah, man, it's funny. Like, I think Maxey, or is it Maxey or Edgecombe that calls him Coach Lowry messing around? But like, people are going to be up in arms like, well, then why didn't you just hire him as a coach? You're wasting a roster spot. Bro, when they're healthy, it doesn't matter who the 14th or 15th man is.
Exactly.
Like,
there's going to be nights
really matter
where Grimes or Maxey can't go, and you're going to need somebody to fill in and lead from the point guard position. So, I like Lowry being there. At the end of the bench, it's at the end of the bench. It's when you play an end of the bench guy as the 6th man where I have a problem, right? So
absolutely.
Fine with Lowry.
Yes, we are live. I believe, Scotty, your Galaxy NBA.
It was pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. That's why it wasn't getting any love.
Can't go live during work hours. Can't go live on the clock, but
we're on lunch right now. But no, with that said, man, one more guy that played a lot of minutes. Quentin Grimes made a couple mistakes, had an errant pass, didn't look the best. Hit 2 clutch threes in like the final 5-6 minutes of the game, and was a team high plus 18 in 32 minutes. Like, it's not like he played a small spurt and it just so happens to be that's when the team was went on a run. He played over half the game, and well over half the game, and was a plus 18. So It's fine. Yeah, I agree, TR. Like, just continue to find yourself within the
He's still
offense.
getting conditioned. He looked a little out of flow at times.
Look, man, I think 15 minutes was long enough to give credit where it's due to the role players. But let's get to this fun, right? Let's get to the meat of Wednesday night's game. Let's start with the kid. VJ Edgecombe. VJ. Oh my God, bro. Oh, first of all, let me just start by saying this. We will no longer see VJ Edgecombe's points on sports books listed at 11.5 or 12.5. Those days are gone. After 1 of 82, those days are gone, brother. This kid was fucking sensational. Just all across the board. Look, 5 of 13 from 3, right? I don't think he took more than 6 threes in a single game in his freshman year at Baylor. Just the willingness and the trust in himself and the confidence from his teammates to continue feeding them. He started 0 for 2. Remember, what did me and you say on the pregame show? I said, if he's hot, then maybe a couple more, but I don't need to see it. Boy, was I off. The kid just continuously put up shots, made shots. He shot 50% from the floor. His bounce, his willingness to attack the rim in game 1 was phenomenal. His defense, 7 boards, 3 assists with a steal. Dude, what did he tie the NBA record for points in an NBA debut? Was he tied with Wilt or beat Wilt? I know he beat out AI for Sixers at rookie or
it's
NBA
the best
debut.
for the Sixers. I think it was 3rd for NBA all-time debut, but I could be wrong there. I didn't double check on that. But yeah, it was
somewhere in there.
It was impressive to say the least. I think the big thing for me, man, is just the shooting. Obviously the 5 3-pointers in this game was huge. He hit one or two in the fourth quarter. That was huge. Just the composure though, his mentality, his approach, he's very mature in the way he plays. I think it was, as I think back through this moment, it's the moment the Sixers posted on their account when they won, and it was a VJ saying, "Let's go." He's going back to the bench, and
with like 10 minutes left.
It just makes me look at the rest of the Sixers organization and think like, man, this is like a 19, 20-year-old coming into the Sixers organization and like wanting it the most. And I'm just hoping that influences and feeds into the rest of the team. It shouldn't take that level of like leadership.
No, you're not wrong, but it is nice to have that
fire. I didn't see that fire from anybody else. Like that type of fire, like let's fucking go, like that type of confidence, man. And you see it from Joel from time to time when he's really.
And you see it from Maxey sometimes, but
sometimes Maxey's.
He's a different kind of
different. Yeah, he's like Maxey got mad about his 5th foul, and then he said, "Guess what? You're gonna hold these 3 threes in a row." I'm gonna go on a little mini 9-0 run here real quick.
But
VJ is just he's a different breed. That composure. It was really when he drove into the lane. He was looking to pass. He was inside, the free throw line, the box, and he looks around. He pivots and then just turns around, shoots a nice little midi fall away right in the middle of the lane. Just such great composure.
That was late in the fourth, was it not?
Yeah, he didn't really have anywhere to go. He was in the lane.
Yeah, it was like he was stuck. Picked up his dribble. Yeah, it was like not game on the line, right? It wasn't like final 30 seconds or anything, but it was a pivotal possession in this game, bro. Look, the bounce is sensational. I think that's kind of the one thing we all assumed or knew about him coming out of Baylor, but we've seen it in the preseason, and now we saw it on full display in a regular season game. But his willingness to shoot the ball, man, because that was a question, right? Like he's a 19-year-old kid. He doesn't have the best, 3-point shooting numbers. It's not the most, fine-combed part of his game, but the willingness to do it, the willingness to attack the rim. And here's the biggest thing for me, Scotty. He didn't look like a rookie at all. He looked like he belonged, like he was one of those dudes. I mean, he's on the same floor, battling it out alongside Tyrese Maxey and across from championship winners in Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, who are giving them buckets in the second half, right? Derek White was ice cold in the first half, doesn't miss in the second half. Anthony Simons is hitting threes every time we make a run. He's on the floor with these dudes, all-stars, champions, and he's giving them buckets right back in their own crib down the stretch of a game. It was incredible to see. With that said, as amazing as VJ was in his debut, he wasn't even the best player on the floor. Because his running mate, Agent Zero, he dropped 40. 40. 7 for 9 from 3. 13 of 24 from the floor. Picked up his 5th foul with like 10 minutes left in the game. Stayed semi-aggressive on the defensive side of the floor. Came away with a steal. Continued to attack the rim. He was unbelievable, man. And I'll let you take the floor here because you were texting me something middle of the game here. I think we tweeted it out at halftime. The way he's seeing the basketball floor, the way he's controlling the court right now, this year's Tyrese Maxey. You're muted.
My bad. Yeah, my dog was barking in the background. I muted myself and forgot. But nonetheless, no, man. Maxey's seeing the court very differently. It's almost like he's seeing the game differently. He's approaching it from such a mature and like leadership level. You could see as he started the game, the focus was to move the ball around, get the teammates involved, get his teammates going. He really knows how to pick his spots, bro. Like he really knows where to pick the moment to start letting it fly and, pull out the handles package. Man, the handle looked crazy. He was moving guys around with that crossover. It was looking very resemblant of somebody from the past in Sixers history. But the ability to hit the step-back three-pointers, when he gets hot from the three-point line, it doesn't look like he's going to miss. We texted each other in the middle of that game.
Really didn't.
He needs to shoot more three-pointers. He shot 9 in this game. He made 7. He went 7 for 9 from the fucking
when I texted that to you, bro, he was 1 for 1. Like, it was like late in the second quarter, and he had 1 3-point attempt.
Yeah. And, bro, I watched him on one play because he missed like a layup or something and then went over to the ref, complained a little bit. But then I saw him kind of talking to himself. He's like, no, just hit the floater next time. Because he drove all the way into the rim, caught body contact, didn't get the foul, missed the layup. He just thinks to himself, stop complaining about the refs. I just need to hit the floater next time it's unguardable. And that's the level of thinking that we need Maxey on to lead this team, man. I think he's stepped into the leadership role for this team, and it's necessary. It's not to say that Joel won't be the leader when he's on the court, but when he's not there, like that game when Joel's on a minutes restriction, you need somebody to step up in that moment where we're going down double digits and we can't get a fucking bucket. This man got his 5th foul. You could see it in his eyes. It's like something switched. He just pulled out the handles package and hit 3 threes in a row.
And like Boston, you could tell they were trying to attack him, and that makes sense. Why would you not? But he didn't, it wasn't like he just was getting out of the way. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't just like, I can't pick up a foul. Here's Jaylen Brown for a dunk. And at that point, I mean, it's almost impossible to keep him in a game if he's not willing to play defense still.
Yeah.
But this one play, where is it? This one by TR, like to your point, man, he's talking about on the right baseline. Shot clock was running down. Joel's like at the 3-point line waiting for the ball. And Maxey hits a step back and knocks it down. It's like, okay, it's his game. The ball's in Tyrese Maxey's hand tonight.
Bro.
It didn't matter if Joel Embiid played the last 10 minutes of the game or not. The ball was in number 0's hands on that night.
No, I completely agree, man. And I did want to pull up Martian's comment because, I don't know if he was trolling on our pregame show, but he had some choice words for Maxey. And I want to stand on business here and acknowledge that I told you, Martian. I told you that Maxey would be the best player on the court that night and that Maxey is indeed back. Efficient Maxey is back. And when he's efficient, man, when he's moving at his own pace, controlling the game like that, it's hard to stop him, man. But I did want to pull this comment back up as well. That's a great point. Paul George
Bryant.
Did not. Yeah. Paul George. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, for sure. Paul George Bryant.
That's funny. Welcome.
That's another thing that I took away, right, man? It might be. It's going to be a couple of weeks. I don't know quite how long for Jared McCain to return. I don't know what the status is. God,
I swear, and maybe ESPN is just off, but they listed Paul George as a game time decision.
Yeah, they did.
Same as Watford, right? Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird, but ESPN is off on that stuff.
No. Those two, Jared McCain, I don't know how long it's going to take for. Those two are like Paul George was a full participant in Monday's practice. I think they're just kind of like easing him into it, right? I think the same thing. Watford, new guy on the team, hasn't played yet. Kind of like I think they are like close to playing. Like I think you could see Paul George playing next week. I think you could see Trent Watford playing next week. I don't know what Saturday's going to look like. Maybe they do give it a go tomorrow. But those guys I think are like genuinely like day to day. McCain's the one that's still recovering, might take a few weeks or whatever. But that's like I look at the game like on Wednesday night, and yes, you know I don't want to say he was making fun of or I guess downplaying the new look Celtics. And yes, they're not the same Celtics and they don't have Tatum and they were shorthanded. But so were we, right? And we came away with the win. And I look at the positives and I look at Maxey and the shooting numbers and I look at VJ and I look at how Barlow can fit and Quentin Grimes staying aggressive. And I just continue to like when they are fully healthy, the rotation is just going to make, like you sent me the tweet. I think it was Harrison Grimm said it. It's just going to make so much more sense. Like Dominic Barlow is still going to get run. You mentioned like, does he even start? I don't know. But you know, he's not going to play 34 minutes, right? That's those minutes are going to go to a Paul George. So I came away even more as if I wasn't excited enough from a defensive stand to end the game in Boston to start the season 1-0. Thinking about Paul George and Jared McKean and Trendon Watford being a part of the rotation is a lot of fun as a Sixers fan to be hopeful about.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. I just saw this comment. It was funny as shit. Martian.
Could be an organizational value.
Just thinking about Paul George returning, it's not a concern. I don't want to list it as that. But what do you do in regards to taking the ball out of VJ's hands in a sense? And I know he's a rookie, but like for his, like, it's just going to be a balancing act as far as like moving the ball around. I guess you just go with the hot hand on nights. You know what I mean? Because Paul George is I'm sorry, I'm hearing a mean echo.
So I don't have an echo. You're like very delayed on like your mouth is like 5 steps ahead of the audio coming out.
Interesting. Is it still doing it?
Interesting. But I don't have an echo or feedback. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird. I can hear myself talking afterwards. But I'll exit and come back after this. But let me just do it now. It's throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, chill out, man. Always getting me. But yeah, hopefully Scotty's back soon. Start letting the comments fly, fellas, while I kill some time here with you. Hopefully PG can play complimentary and won't need to hog the ball. Yeah, it's interesting, man, right? Because how much stock do you put in? We good?
Let's see.
We're delayed. We're delayed.
Let me try it again. Hold on.
Restart that computer, brother. I mean, like, I don't want to say how much stock do you put into VJ's debut, but like as well as like a Dominic Barlow and a Jabari Parker, because they are Jabari Parker, not Jabari Parker. They are very complementary pieces. But Paul George is going to demand looks and shots, and he is going to demand isolation at times. But yeah, I think complimentary is the perfect word. I mean, put it this way, man. Look, Joel Embiid is still getting acclimated. He did only play 20 minutes, but in no way, shape, or form was Joel Embiid controlling the Sixers offense, even in the first half when they were winning, even when he wasn't god-awful to start this game. Took 9 total attempts. Now, when Scotty comes back in, I am going to address game 1 Joel Embiid and just how bad it was, but maybe it is a fundamental difference within Nick Nurse's offense within this team this season, right? Like maybe there is that emphasis Nick was talking on swinging the ball. I think TR, you mentioned it earlier, like the ball not sticking to one person or to one side of the floor. And the Sixers obviously had great success with it. And something we didn't even really get into, because I mentioned that Boston third quarter run. I mean, the Sixers had a hell of a fourth quarter run. They put up 42 points. With no Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter, or for 10 of the 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, with no Paul George, obviously, with no Jared. So they were shorthanded and found a way to score 42 points in crunch time. Little World Series talk. Do the Blue Jays have a shot is his next question. No. Unfortunately, no. Will I be rooting for the Blue Jays? Rooting's a weird word. I don't really care for the Toronto Blue Jays at all. But yeah, I would like to see Goliath get defeated. Do I think that happens? No. Do I think the Blue Jays win a game? I'm not really sure how. I think this is very Phillies, Astros 2022 to me, but even on another level when it comes to the Dodgers versus what that Astros team was. Don't get me wrong. That Astros team was fucking phenomenal. But heading into that series, that Astros team who had been there, done that for many, many years, had all this star power attached to them. They felt like Goliath, and we were the team of destiny. We were the team that got. I mean, obviously the Blue Jays were the 1 seed. This isn't like the Phillies sneaking the wild card, but we were the hot team, right? We weren't as talented as the Astros heading into that one. Now obviously we won 2 of the first 3 games. I don't see that series going this way. I think there's far too much talent offensively for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I look at this Blue Jays rotation. Shane Bieber just had to pitch in 2 of 7 games. I don't know how you're throwing Shane Bieber out there against this Dodgers team. The kid, Yesavage, that's pitching tonight. We'll see what he looks like. Obviously, he dominated the Yankees in one of the divisional round games. But then I think came back down to earth last series. We'll see. I'm interested to see what that roster looks, or what that rotation looks like. Excuse me. Bo Bichette is back if he plays every day, which I'm assuming if he's back on the World Series roster, he will be playing every day. So we'll see. Goliath versus Goliath. I can't go that far, bro. I can't look at look. We're so down on the Phillies, right? Oh, people had questions about the Phillies. The Phillies swept the Blue Jays at one point this season. I think in Toronto, maybe it was at home. I forget, but no, it's not Goliath versus Goliath. It is Francine versus Goliath. All right, brother, we're back. How we feeling?
Still echoing. I don't know what it is, man.
You're delayed on I can deal with it because I don't have an echo. If you're good, if the listeners, if it's not terrible, then we can keep going. Your audio to video is delayed, but I can still hear your points. So I'm good to keep going, but it's up to you.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. All
right. You guys let us know, because it's weird that I'm not getting the echo from Scotty's screen.
Maybe turn my mic down. See if that helps.
Possibly. Talk again?
Yep.
It's a little behind. Yeah, I can try to do. I can attempt to time this out. But look, man. As you were heading out, we were talking about the future of this team, and a big part of the future, and right now, at least, is the foreseeable future of the season, is Joel Embiid. Now, I tweeted out. I'm a little disappointed in myself as time went on, as days have passed. But I tweeted out towards the end of the game that I know it's game 1 of 82. Deep breath. But my God, did Joel Embiid look awful in Boston. He's still getting acclimated. He's getting his legs out from under him. He's getting conditioned, playing with a big-ass brace. It's his first meaningful basketball game in basically almost a calendar year. Got to give it time. But I was just frustrated because I'm watching Maxey and this rookie try to will this team to a victory, and it wasn't just the legs and conditioning for me, Scotty. It was he took 9 shots. 4 of them were from 3. At one point, I was texting you, I think he had only taken 2 attempts inside the 3-point line when I had texted you that point. And he 0 for 4, just kept it. If you don't have your legs under you, why are you chucking from deep? And none of them were going down. And then he'd miss and be a long rebound, and they'd go back on the defensive end, and he would lose his man or get beat back, and they'd let up a layup or a dunk, and he'd throw his hands up like it's someone else's responsibility. It was like, just that shit was piss. I can wait for you to get your legs and your conditioning back. I feel for you, bro. But that's the stuff I can't. Just fundamental. Why are you chucking 50% of your attempts from the 3-point land? And then you're losing guys on defense and throwing your arms up like it's not your responsibility. That was very irking to see, while the 2 young guys can't miss and are trying their hearts out to come away with a win.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, man. And it was bothersome the way Embiid was ultimately playing in this game. I think that's, something he's going to have to grow up and mature in this season, is when that shot's not falling, Embiid, and it's not even now. It's more or less that it should have always been this way, but maybe it was just structured differently in the past because he was so relied on when it comes to scoring. But he has to help fill in the margins now. You have to be a plus defender. You have to focus on the margins if the shot's not falling. We had to turn to VJ, our rookie, because Embiid wasn't able to score the rock normally, right? VJ had to take these shots. Maxey had to step up and assert himself in this game. And it's not that Maxey wouldn't anyways. It's just that whenever Embiid is going to play like that, we're going to need it times 3 from the rest of the squad. So I think that's the level of maturity for Embiid this season, because I think it was clear in this game that shots not falling early, right? Whatever. Maybe the opportunities just weren't even coming his way early with the flow of the offense. Then you get late into the game. He only has maybe 4 points in the second quarter, something. Maybe he's just shooting threes to try to catch up in his point total. I don't know. I'm not going to, decipher and make accusations. I just think it looked very clear. Embiid was struggling offensively, and it leaked into the rest of his game where he just wasn't putting in max effort. And ultimately, Nurse, whether it was minutes restriction or play or both, Nurse made the decision that it was best for him to sit the rest of the night on the bench. And if he can't mature in that way, well, then maybe we do need to just make sure that he's fully conditioned when he's set to hit the floor, because it's just not productive. He was a team low -18 or -16 in this game. It just, that can't happen. There's no reason Embiid should be a -16 or approaching -20 for a squad. Like, he's just not giving appropriate effort at that point. And I even saw, I think it was VJ. That's what I meant earlier when I talk about VJ and the leadership and what he's doing with this team. I swear, it wasn't that he called Joel out directly, but it was an open 3, and VJ's like, who's mad? Like, you could see him screaming. The guy hits the 3, and he looks at the rest of the team and just goes like this. Like, what the fuck? Do you guys want to win this game or what? Do you want to lock in defensively or what? And it kind of brings us back to VJ again, right? Because this guy cares about defense. That is a difference in itself. We have not had players that give a fuck about defense since like Ben Simmons. VJ is defensive oriented and he scored 34, man. But no, I need to see something better from Embiid. I said about him getting conditioned. No, he needs to play against the Hornets on Saturday, and he needs to look better. The Hornets a good opportunity for him to get his feel back and his flow within the offense. He needs to get some easy buckets. He needs to operate in the paint, to your point, to get those easy buckets. But
and I think he will play better, right? Like I don't think you're going to continue to see that poor of a shooting output from Joel Embiid, even when the legs aren't there, right? But I will say, to spin a few positives out of it, one thing TR pointed out earlier was kind of the late game and then the post game with VJ, like Joel's spirits high, happy for the rookie, happy for the team, dumping water on him, laughing, smiling. Humongous, right? Because that's not mopey Joel. Well, I didn't have anything to do with it, and I stunk, and I sat on the bench in the fourth quarter, and blah, 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 right? You didn't get that. While he was 1 for 9 and took too many threes when you're not shooting good. He did only take 9 shots. Now, I know he didn't play a ton, but he didn't, the ball wasn't being forced to Joel each offensive break down the court, right? It wasn't sticking in his hands. He wasn't forcing things. He had 0 turnovers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't leak too much. It did leak on the defensive end, to your point. And, maybe that's a combination of mindset and conditioning. The last thing I'll say to spin a positive out of this, because like I said, I had the tweet in the third quarter, and I hate jumping out to that, because what happens in December when Joel Embiid looks like his old self and he's dropping 28 to 30 every given night, and I look like a fool. I don't like to make these crazy statements one game in. So at first I was very annoyed, and I'm still annoyed at like the defense and the threes and that shit. But as time has passed since Wednesday's win, Scotty, I do have to go back to one thing, and it's what we started this show on. And just in one game, this team proving themselves to be slightly different than in years past. This team, still shorthanded, just went on the road in Boston and won an NBA regular season game while Joel Embiid scored 4 points and was a team worst minus 16.
Yeah.
That never happens. It doesn't matter if it's the Hornets, the Wizards, the Celtics, it doesn't matter who they're playing. If Joel Embiid plays 20 minutes and plays as poorly as he did and is a team worst minus 16, they don't win a basketball game, let alone come from behind double digits in the fourth quarter against the Celtics on the road. So I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, man. It's just so interesting. Looking back, man, just VJ and Maxey, it's almost like Maxey just needed another guy beside him to kind of help him lead the way, right? But it is interesting. I know you mentioned, Embiid, eventually getting back to that, 20 to 30 point per night. Is it necessary? Like you said, they just won with him scoring 4. And, obviously Maxey doesn't need to score 40 every night. VJ doesn't need to score 34 every night. But you will have Paul George. You will have Jared McCain. Grimes will be better. Does he need to score 30 a night anymore? Like, I don't think they need that anymore.
No, well, and here's the thing. What has it won them in the past? Even when he is an MVP, even when he is a scoring champ, right, it hasn't gotten them out of the second round. Now, with that said, and obviously there's some common ground here. There's some happy medium where
balance.
They are not winning a championship if Joel Embiid looks like this or shoots like this or plays like this, right? It doesn't matter how great Maxey and VJ and hell, even if Paul George comes back and is good and McKean, they're not winning a championship with this, right?
Right.
But with that said, maybe they're not winning a championship if he's an MVP, but it's causing everyone else to play a little less, to play a little down. I think the perfect happy medium for Joel Embiid and this team to reach their ultimate ceiling and to compete at the end of this year is, I think he's still in the mid to high 20, but I think like an average of 25 to 26. While Maxey is also averaging in the mid to high 20s, and PG comes back and is averaging 17 to 20, and McCain and Grimes and VJ are hitting. That's because, again, that would go back to a different look offense. That would go to sharing of the basketball, swinging the basketball. Everyone's eating, right? 34 points a game hasn't won the Sixers shit.
Yeah.
But they're not winning shit if he continues to look like this. So,
to answer Martian's question here, I don't think it's like I don't think it's a matter of Embiid's averages. It's just more getting to the postseason healthy. Like, it just
not just that. What if his average is 18, but his attempts are way down? But by his play within his 18 a night, that he can get you any bucket he wants down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he doesn't, maybe he's not averaging 30 plus like he used to, but he can. And that will be the difference maker, right? Like, all right, he's only averaging 18, but he's only taking 14 shots a game. Something like, he's going to take more than that. You get my drift. But his averages are down, but that doesn't mean his ceiling is way down. If the game's tied with 3 minutes left, Joel Embiid can be MVP Joel Embiid.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm thinking here. And that's honestly my expectation. I don't maybe he gets back to like that just like prolific like 30 to 40 point night like capabilities, but the knee injuries will add up when it comes to his athleticism and movement on the court. And I think it's like it is realistic to understand that he may not be able to do like that on a night-to-night basis to the commenters' points as well. But I think to your point, the 20 anywhere from 20 to 25, it's really not about averages. It's more about how it looks ultimately and how his body looks and is responding.
1,000%. TR brings up a very interesting point. I feel like I'm less worried about Joel scoring like he used to, basically, if the defense is there, which is still to be seen. But that's a fair point. If you do have the offensive firepower when they're fully healthy that we're envisioning, he can take less off his body on the offensive end and put more of an emphasis on that old defensive stuff. But like he's saying here, can he still be that dominant rim protector that he used to be before all of the knee injuries?
Right. And no, this is fair as well. Like, I'm not sleeping on the attention that is given to Joel and, his impact. It's not that. It's just, not what we're used to. 4 points and whatever he put out, what else he put out in that game, that's not what we're used to. It needs to be more. This is an interesting comment as well, man. 10 like he needs to. If you're starting Paul George and Kelly Oubre next to him, yes. If you're starting Barlow next to him, I don't think he needs to average 10. Here.
Let's see. What did we come away with? They out-rebounded us 42-40. Both teams had 10 offensive rebounds each. So it's about as 50% as you can be, which, hey, is a hell of an upgrade than in years past for the Sixers team. Not getting destroyed on second chance opportunities and getting beat out into transition off of looks. But
there's a few categories.
I don't know how much more to say.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a few categories the Sixers, won in that game. To your point, they met in the middle on rebounding, but they won the 3-point battle. They won points off turnovers. They won field goal percentage. They won assists, which it's just not typical for a Sixers team, man, especially against the Celtics in Boston. So definitely a good win, nonetheless, brother. Definitely a good win, nonetheless.
Absolutely. And then you get, like you mentioned, you get the Hornets in your home opener on Saturday night, and then I believe we are home again, against the Magic, man, which are who are a playoff team now, right? This isn't the lowly Orlando Magic as in a few years ago. This is a Paolo Banchero-led Magic team now. You get the Wizards, and then, hey, a Halloween night, you get Boston back in Philly. So we'll see them again. We'll see what the Sixers continue to do, but I can't wait to see this team continue to get healthy, Joel improve, PG, Watford, McCain. Like, it's just going to make so much more sense, man, because let me ask you this before we move on and then get out of here in a few minutes. Even though Barlow was phenomenal, even though we enjoyed what Barry Walker did, even though Kelly, whatever, there were times in the game where you're looking around at, Maxey and Embiid are off the floor, and you're looking around, and there's a lineup of, and again, VJ was spectacular, but it's VJ, Oubre, Barlow, Bona, Grimes. And you're just for name's sake, you're looking out on the court, and Jaylen Brown and Derek White are also out there, and you're going, oh, this feels bad. This could be. Now, it wasn't. They played well. But think about how much different that rotation's going to be when Paul George is starting and someone else is coming on, Kelly's coming off the bench, or McCain's coming off the bench as that second ball handler. And there's just going to be so many more capable bodies that then push the guys that exceeded expectations down a little bit. And now you're loaded, right? So we'll see.
No, we did talk about Barlow earlier in the show, Martian. He was actually kind of the first person we pinpointed, but yeah, I do think to your point, though, I think Barlow is going to be in that rotation, man. And obviously, I've seen
and that's fine
clips and one regular season game, but he provides something that the others don't, and that is the
absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's got a role in this team. We'll see what Watford can do because that could impact it a little bit. But
But hey, but even if one of them's playing bench minutes, though, Scotty, like, you know, like that's still a difference making. Like if Barlow's starting and Watford's the 4 coming off the bench, or if Watford gets inserted and Barlow's playing 20 minutes off the bench, like either way, I'm good with it. Whoever's playing better on a particular night, whoever's making more of an impact, Nick Nurse can ride in the fourth quarter. So yeah, man, I'm excited to get healthy.
Does it seem like Barlow he's leapfrogged Adem, basically? That's what that was, him starting in that game. Like he leapfrogged Adem in a sense. Because they're like kind of the same style,
I would assume so. I like him better. Look, Adem Bona is a fine backup. Brings athleticism, can provide shot blocking, is a lob threat at times, can get out in transition with guys. Not that Barlow is providing much of a scoring punch, right? Like he's not going to take you off the dribble. He's not a great 3-point shooter by any stretch, but he can just do more offensively. And then when you're talking about size and length and athleticism, I mean, what really is the difference? A Bona maybe a little heavier, a little thicker in the chest. I don't know. So yeah, no, I think there is a role for each and every one of them right now. My point is, but when I say health, is those guys who were asked to do a lot on Wednesday night will just be asked to do a little bit less. Jabari Walker played 19 minutes? Maybe he's playing 11 minutes in the future, 10 minutes in the future, something like that. Barlow played 30 plus minutes. Maybe he's playing 19 to 22 minutes in the future. So yeah, and that just makes this team deeper and makes them better. Justin Edwards not playing was a little bit of a surprise, man.
I don't know where he fits, to be honest, man.
I don't disagree.
Maybe it's matchup based. Maybe
I remember last year. I remember last year when people just I was just getting so frustrated with people talking about Justin Edwards, and when Ricky Council was here, and just I don't know, like just people pushing for those two guys. Like I'm fine with them. I think he's a capable 11th man or something like that, but there's no need to force Justin Edwards into this rotation. But he did go undrafted. Sometimes you find diamonds in the rough. And yeah, there were times like he shined at times last year in the midst of garbage, right? Like him and Quentin Grimes, and hell, Jeff Doughton dropped 30 points twice last year. Shit can happen when you get the ball a lot. Doesn't mean you should be a part of the rotation. And after one game, he's not, man. But, with that said, last couple minutes here, we do have a revenge spot, so to speak, this Sunday. Now, obviously, we'll be live breaking down the game further Sunday morning, so we don't have to get too in-depth. But Eagles-Giants at the Link, 1 o'clock Sunday, last game before the bye week to continue to progress and get healthier. The Birds are in a prime spot to go 6-2. Just quick little overview here. If you thought I was confident heading into that Thursday night matchup in the Meadowlands, you might not want to tune in on Sunday. Because I promise, Martian, that they are not losing this football game. And not only will they not lose it, it will never be in doubt. Now, maybe they don't win by 17-20, but it will never be in doubt to where it's in the third or fourth quarter. And Jackson Dart gets the ball in his hands, or the Eagles offense starts to fall asleep at the wheel again. And here we go. And they make it a 6-point game going into the fourth. It's not happening. Not happening. Here's why. Too pissed off, brother. They got embarrassed on Thursday Night Football in front of the nation. Not happening. Jackson Dart, meet Jalen Carter, brother. Oh, I'll be here. Oh, wait, we might not be here because Scotty's going away. So we'll have to see.
It's so funny. It's ironic. But yeah, no, it's just funny, man, hearing those words come out of your mouth. It is like, I guess the last time I heard them was that Thursday night, and you guaranteed said that.
I promise, bro.
You did promise. Yeah, the promise. I promise you that when you say that, Nah, I feel it though. I'm sorry. The echo is just messing me up, man. I think we should get out of here.
We're getting out of here in a minute anyway.
The echo's definitely bothering me. But no, all jokes aside, I'm with you, man. The Eagles are going to be pissed off. They're going to come off that loss. They know what they went in. They went in there asleep. They went into Meadowlands asleep. And they got woken up with a Cam Scatabo 3-tutty hat trick, man, type of game for the rookies there. And
yes, they did.
I think they get a wake up call this Sunday in Philly, man. I'm with you.
Yes, they did. Now, with that said, I know we got to get out of here. Scotty's echo's driving him insane. But there are over 30 people in here. Martian, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but we did kind of let the news out a little bit to a couple people on social media. We are beginning our Sixers alternate black jersey giveaway of your choosing, whether it's VJ, whether it's Maxey, whether it's whatever player you want, as long as it's on Fanatics or somewhere. We will get it for you if you win the raffle. All you have to do to be entered is subscribe to this YouTube channel, not the Turf Talk one, the DSM Philadelphia YouTube channel, and on one of our upcoming live streams over the next 2 weeks, comment #76ers, and you will be entered for a chance to win. Can you get an Eric Snow jersey? I'll tell you what, brother. You find me a link to an Eric Snow jersey and you win the raffle, I'll get you a goddamn Eric Snow jersey if that's what you want. He said, why? Just subscribe, TR. Let's write down TR's name right now. TR. Don't know your real name? I'll get that information if you end up winning. Martian. Entered. All right. We got two. But here's what we need from you two, man. I don't know if your friends, your family are Sixers fans, are Philly sports fans. I don't know what what kind of presence you have on social media. Martian, I know yours is not a ton, but just put it out there for us. Send it to friends, family, whoever might enjoy the content. You guys are always in here, so we appreciate it. But we are trying to continue to grow, so share it out. Go Jays, brother. I'll get on board with you. But for myself, for Scotty, for DSM, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We might be live Wednesday or Monday early afternoon, morning, depending on Scotty's traveling. But if not, we'll figure something out over the next week. Go Birds, go Sixers, and subscribe.